the narrative that you are beyond help and that depression is this big scary monster that strikes your life out of nowhere and the only way to fix it is with prescription drugs. That is what damages people. Absolutely and utterly, that's more damaging than my mindset, which is threefold really. One, you have very little control over anything in this life. You can't control the weather. You might get hit by a car when you're out in the street. You can't control anything. One of the only things you have absolute control over, because you don't even have control of your own health. Maybe you could have a heart attack in the next 10 minutes. Only thing you have control over is your own state of mind. That's all you got. It's one of the only few things in the world you can control. You can decide. And people say, oh, you can't decide, you can't help it. Yes, you fucking can. You can decide whether to be a positive or a negative person. That's a decision you must make. And if you decide to be a negative person, it does not benefit your life in not 1%. That's a decision you've made. You decided that's self-sabotage bullshit. So I don't feel sorry for you. So that's the first thing about this depression thing I don't understand. The second thing about it is, for the majority of people, life is depressing. The majority of people are working bullshit jobs they hate for not enough money, struggling to pay the bills, with not as many girlfriends as they'd like to have, pushing a car they wouldn't choose if they were millionaires. We're not all Justin Bieber. We're not all in charge of the world. There's a few select people out there who run shit. Yeah, of course, you're Rihanna. You think life's great. You're Katy Perry. You're some dickhead bimbo just has to sing the odd song and you rule the world. Of course, you're happy. But for the majority of people, life is depressing. You're working a job you fucking hate. You want sex and the girl won't bang you. And you're driving a shitty car. Like that's a depressing element. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna be depressed about it and cry about it? Or are you gonna fix your mindset to make your own life better? Depression is absolutely situational. If you think that taking a prescription drug is gonna make you happy with your shit car and your shit job, that's the wrong way to look about it. Why not change your car and change your job instead of surrendering? And the third facet is, which is building off the second facet, everyone who's depressed in the West has it tons better than 90% of the people on the planet. You're not born in fucking Yemen. You're born in Yemen, you're a goat farmer. Yeah, then you can be depressed. You're like, they're happier than you. You know, so it's threefold. It's one that life is depressing as a whole. It's two, that depression is situational. It's up to you to change it. It's not down to a prescription drug. And it's three, that you've got it better than a lot of other people do anyway. So when I hear people say they're depressed, all I hear is a whiny bitch. You control your mind. You control your mind. And if you refuse to control your own mind, it's not my job to control it for you. If you come to me and say I'm depressed, all I sit and think is, so? And that's not me being heartless. It's me saying, well, fucking fix it then. Well, I can't fix it. Well, if you don't think you can fix it, well, I can't fucking fix it. So piss off and be sad. I'm gonna stay here and be happy and drink my vodka and chill with women. Fuck you. And that's the reality of it. And this is how depression needs to be taught. Depression needs to be fixed with hard answers or getting some of this bullshit. People are walking into a psychiatrist's office saying, I've got depression, and they're getting a ton of attention, and everyone's sitting there saying, oh, poor you, poor you. Someone needs to sit there and say, grow the fuck up and get out of here. And they might do it. That's what I think anyway. Fucking pandering to them ain't gonna fix shit, but what do I know? I'm banned on Twitter, so I don't know shit anymore, but there it is. Unrealistic, no scope of reality, no scope of the real world. And a lot of these diseases and ailments, what it really is, I see it as a very cheap shot at originality. Because we're all trying to matter. It doesn't matter who you are. If you look at the basis, especially amongst men, depression's higher amongst men, suicide's higher amongst men, blah, blah, blah. But we're all trying to feel important. This is the reason why men play sports, for example. We all want to be like a fucking football star. We all want to be a kickboxer. We all want to be rich. We all want to drive around Lambo. We all want to matter. So a very cheap shot at originality is to pretend you have all these ailments you don't have. Because then no one can understand you. Then you're so different than you be. Oh, well, you don't understand what it's like to be me because I'm depressed and I have anxiety and I have ADHD and I understand you're a dickhead just fine, but you're just trying to pretend you're something special by giving your stupidness names. Everyone gets anxious about certain things. I was anxious before every fight. I don't have anxiety. I was anxious about a situation and I handled it and I fought and I won. That was it. People are just adding these ailments and throwing them around as a cheap shot at originality, and people are encouraging it from the ground up. And it's absolute garbage, man. I always quote this because I remember I was sitting there watching some fucking TV show, and these parents had a kid who had obsessive compulsive disorder. And I sat there, I remember sitting there with my mom, and I said, obsessive compulsive disorder ain't real. And she goes, how do you know? I said, I guarantee it ain't fucking real. Anyway, they're talking about this kid called Timmy, and Timmy had to walk down the stairs in a certain order. So he'd skip the first stair and then go back up a stair, then jump down 2 stairs, some bullshit order. And if he didn't go down the right order, he'd start crying and having a fit at the bottom of the stairs. And his parents had to take him back to the stairs. I was like, he just needs his ass kicked. That's all Timmy needs. Timmy's a little fucking spoiled brat. Because I've never seen a kid in Africa who had to walk 6 miles for water, who turned around and did the walk twice because they missed a step. I've never seen that happen because it ain't fucking real. If obsessive compulsive was real, it'd be universal across people. And there'd be some poor kid in Africa who's doing the walk 3 times because of obsessive compulsive disorder. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen because it's not fucking real. It's just insanity. And these kids are pandering to this moron who wants to walk up and down the stairs like an idiot. It's just like joke world. Like in the real world, he would have got slapped in the face and he said, Timmy, grow up. And at the end of that, I would have cured his obsessive compulsive in about 3 seconds. No, to the end.
And Timmy would have been a better person. You know what I mean? He would have been
He would have been done. He would have been cured.
Yeah.
You know, like he's going to struggle with obsessive compulsive for the rest of his life when you could have cured him by just saying something a fucking moron. Sit down with basic discipline. But the world's fucked, so.
Yeah, it is pretty fucked, man.